Hello everybody, welcome to episode 4 of Impact Wrestling. As you'll notice, we're not on the booking screen because I messed up and had a little issue with recording, so there is no show to actually run you through. I'll explain why. Well, I did. We just had an issue with recording, but I'll show you what actually happened on the show. I'll talk you through it a bit, and I'll show you a couple of things that went on, and then in the next episode you'll get a pay-per-view, just so that we're still up to date. Show history. Got to 28. It was a bad show. We're still struggling because of the because we're taping all in one day. The crowd's getting burnt out really fast, so it's causing us to lose popularity quite fast. So we may have to change that. Our show opens with the usual Josh Matthews, Don Callis, hype, 34, EC3. Cuts a promo. Moose challenges him at Emergence, the pay-per-view this month, 39. Brian Myers has his match with Jake Chris, opens the show, first match of the show I mean, and then has a promo after with Madison Rayne, interview segment, where he hypes up his new historical streak, this one being of course a win streak. Says something probably along the lines of, if people know anything about him in wrestling, it's that he's very good at keeping a streak. Madison of course points out that his previous streak was a legendary lost streak, which of course frustrates me. He walks off, but he's a face in our roster. He just was a face whenever I loaded the database. So Shelley hype package for his match with Paige. Ethan Page gets a victory over Shelley. Not great match, 26, but the crowd were hot, but also worn out, burned out, which I thought was weird. I don't know how they can be both, but oh well. Paige gets a cheap win over Shelley. Maybe his feet are on the ropes and Josh Alexander holds his feet down or something like that. 35, and Motor City Machine Guns being screwed is just them realizing they've been cheated out of a victory. Grace and Kelly Ray on Locker Room Talk, which is Madison Rayne's hype, like her talk show. She has them both on to talk about what happened last week, why Jordan didn't shake hands with Kylie after their tag match, why she blames Kylie. Kylie being the sort of naive babyface, she wants to make it up to Jordan as her fault that they lost, even though there's an argument that it wasn't. And Jordan just being frustrated, having lost her title, having lost, last week as well. Says, what, make it up to me? If I beat you tonight, I want in triple threat Emergence. Which of course, she goes on and does beat Kelly Ray, 21. So not a great match, but again, warm, hot crowd, but burnt out. After the match, they shake hands. Kylie accepts her defeat. But, Jordan maybe bumps. Deanna rolls into the ring. Neither of them see her. She bumps one into the other. Beats them both down. Stands tall over both of her opponents. Eddie Edwards challenges Eric Young to a hardcore match for the title at Emergence. As he says, it's gone too far with Eli. He's been attacking people left and right. He's been here to make a statement. Well, Eddie Edwards likes a good fight, likes to hurt people. After obviously his feuds with Sami Callihan and Moose, it got very personal. So he says him and Eric Young are going to fight in a hardcore match at Emergence. In the main event, Willie Mack defeats Rohit Raju in 25, getting Mack back on track. Bay cuts up from afterwards, saying that Willie Mack is too distracted and he's not focusing on the X Division title, and that's why at Emergence he will beat him. Rhino has a match with Hernandez, its first single match of the save, I believe. 23. Rascals promo, just get them on TV again. 27. Anderson and Ace Austin hype package, 37. Carl Anderson defeats Ace Austin. Maybe seems like a weird decision for some of you might think. Ace Austin being very young and a future Impact World Champion, I'm sure. Why would I have Anderson go over him? But a lot of people forget that Carl Anderson is a very talented wrestler. He was massive in New Japan for a while in their singles division, from what I've seen. I'm not going to act like an expert, but and from what I've seen, he was doing very well in their singles division. So we cement that a wee bit. Maybe he could do some singles wrestling in the future. And of course, it's not a big thing for Ace Austin. Carl Anderson is very good, and of course it sets up the tag team match for Emergence, as afterwards they stared down in a 40. The show wasn't great, but we did have issues. As you can see, we've got messages here. Rhino got injured. We're not going to put in a bid for MJ Jenkins. I just have her shortlisted in case. But yeah, Rhino, which I've now lost the thing for, but Rhino is, yeah, there it is injured. He bruised his kidney after a botched move from Hernandez. So I don't know what we'll do with that, but most of our reading figures were quite bad, 0.14. Most of our broadcasters are unhappy. If we go to broadcasting, Access TV, 1 day 36, which we should be able to get. I believe the first, if you look at show history, the first, that's a 44. So it was after the third show where I think the crowd got burnt out that we kind of lost that. So I think we should be fine if we maybe swap what way we tape. Let me know in the comments if you think that maybe be a better idea. 45 should be gettable. If we're getting a 44, we can get a 45, I think, realistically, to keep Fight Network and Sport TV happy. The 47, after the pay-per-view, it might be a lot closer. I don't know. Maybe we'll need to make signings, but we're in a not great position financially, so I don't know if that can happen. Nuvo Laurie, 40, should be able to do that. 5-star, 30, fine. And Impact Plus, we need a 0, that's fine. In terms of events, Dish Mexico, 1 of 47, I think we can get that. Impact Plus 1 of 0, obviously, and Fight TV 1 of 24, that should all be fine. Storylines, EY versus Eddie Edwards is hot, 35. Just on the border there. Was higher earlier in the month, or earlier in the day, I guess. But unfortunately it fell. Women's Triple Threat, 24. Tag Team title, 33. Good Brothers, that's on the 35 border as well, but it's not hot anymore. Mac and Bay is a 31. 33. And the 45, EC3 versus Moose, won't. They're not going to main event. Even though they are, well, maybe they could. Moose obviously believing he is the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, even though TNA doesn't really exist, and that belt doesn't really exist. It's not actually in the game. But maybe we could run that. Have them in the main event. You know, it could play into the future in a feud with one of these two men against Eddie Edwards, maybe, or Eric Young. They main evented their fake belt over the real Impact Heavyweight Championship. It's an idea. If you think that's good, let me know in the comments down below. But hopefully, you know, we'll get back on track next month when I see if I can separate the tapings, maybe, so that we don't tape them both on the same day. Where are we looking here? Events and TV. Once a month on a Tuesday. Can I schedule? How do I do? I haven't actually. I'll figure out how to do it off screen because I've never actually messed with that before. I haven't played a lot of TEW 2020 this year. Played a lot more of 2016 when it came out. Our finances aren't looking great. Hopefully, we'll make enough money back from the pay-per-view because our broadcast revenue comes through. We get 84,000 from sponsorship, so you might actually lose money this month unless the pay-per-view does really well. Because obviously we'll have to pay more workers for the pay-per-view and more show costs and broadcasting and stuff like that, but maybe we might lose some money, but hopefully not too much. Sorry, of course, that this episode came to you in a unusual format. It's not what I wanted to do, but I would rather keep you up to date with what's going on, and this is, you know, I've been able to show you a bit more going on in the save than I would have previously. Anyway, the next episode will be Emergence. Headlined by Eddie Edwards and Eric Young. Semi-main evented probably by EC3 and Moose. And the likes of, we have a triple threat for the women's title, tag team titles, and Motor City Machine Gun and the North. Gallows and Anderson, the Good Brothers, versus Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. Willie Mack versus Chris Bay. Nothing for the Heath Slater storyline, I think. And that should be the pay-per-view. It is also 2 hours as well, so that's not too bad. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, and I will see you at Emergence. Thanks.